These newspaper article readings are not for the faint-hearted or the squeamish. If you're at all sensitive, I might suggest these aren't for you. If in doubt, check the description below. It'll tell you which topics are covered in this particular episode. There's both human and animal suicides, and you heard that right. There's also horrific descriptions of injuries, as well as the deaths of youngsters. So don't do it to yourself if you're prone to nightmares, is all I'll say right now. Not all the articles are horrible. Some of them are uplifting, some of them show incredible bravery and heroism. There are near misses. So these were picked as showing life prior to health and safety, as well as for the crazy and curious details some contain, with other miscellaneous happenings that kind of struck me enough to post the articles to Twitter, despite not having too much relevance to Scotland necessarily. These are worldwide topics, and they didn't have any real connection to the projects that I was working on and researching at the time. I just happened to have come across them by the way, kind of thing. So we'll get into them, shall we? What we're going to do here is we're going to do a lucky dip of newspaper articles to really mix them up a wee bit, because while I'm doing the researches, I'm obviously coming up with the same kind of terms and things. So we'll mix them up even further. So to that end, I have all of the newspaper titles and dates of the articles. Let's see what the hat has for us today, shall we? Still got quite a few of these. I'm surprised. I didn't realise we'd collected so many. Okay. So, we have the Dundee Courier for the 30th of June 1921. Let's see what the Dundee Courier has. Okay, this is actually a recent one posted to Twitter. This is entitled Sergeant Blown into the Air, the bags with the cream-coloured powder. While walking in the vicinity of an explosive factory which is being demolished near Cardonald, Elizabeth Taylor, a girl of 14 residing at 183 Langlands Road, Govan, stepped on some substance which exploded, knocking her down. The girl received injuries to her left foot and right leg and had her neck scorched. A number of small bags containing a cream-coloured powder were on the ground, and while a man named Michael Connolly was handing one of these to Police Sergeant Seaton to be placed in a large empty bag, an explosion took place, the sergeant being thrown several feet into the air, receiving severe injuries to his right hand and right leg. Connolly was injured about the face, and it is feared that his sight may be affected. There's been zero health and safety there. An explosive factory is being demolished. So, hello, what do you think the first thing that should be done is? Remove all the explosive material, right? You know, clear the place, make it safe for those that are going to be coming in to help demolish it, you know, to raise it. It's crazy that this explosive powder is just lying about so that a 14-year-old lassie could get injured just by stepping on it, and another guy just from handing it to a police officer. I mean, it seems like it was really volatile material, whatever it was. So yeah, there's been zero health and safety, there's been zero risk assessment, there's been apparently not very much done other than the original company moving out of the place. They appear to have left quite a lot of their stock behind. Nee. We'll see what we have next. Eh? We have the Greenock Telegraph and Clyde Shipping Gazette for the 24th of July 1902. See what the Greenock Telegraph has for us? Okay, this is a wee tiny article. A train on an Algerian railway was stopped the other day by a mass of snails which covered the rails, making them so slippery that the wheels of the engine would not bite. There are some lines in this Scotland of ours where such an accident could not occur. The Algerian train overtook the snails. And that's from the Greenock Telegraph and Clyde Shipping Gazette for the 24th of July 1902. That's disgusting. Me? That is disgusting. I have not really anything to add to that. That's just disgusting. Right, next. The Perthshire Advertiser for the 9th of April 1906. This is just a really sad one. First and last day at school. Sarah Nisbet, a girl of 4 years, who was knocked down and seriously injured on Friday by a tramcar in Trongate, Glasgow, while going to school for the first time, died from her injuries in the Royal Infirmary yesterday. The child was in charge of another girl, double her age, when the accident occurred. And that's from the Perthshire Advertiser for the 9th of April 1906. And that's just a shame. That's just really sad. Yeah. Isn't it? Let's have something a little more upbeat. Everyone cross your fingers and toes. We have the Edinburgh Evening News for the 23rd of May 1902. Okay, this was also a really recent upload to Twitter. So we have 3 stories from the Edinburgh Evening News, so this will likely finish us for this one. We have Englishman eaten by wolves. New York, Friday morning. The New York Sun this morning publishes a dispatch from Monterey in Mexico stating that Mr. B. Campbell Davis, a young and well-known Englishman who has been living for some time in the district, has been killed and eaten by coyotes near the Paya station on the International Railway. The second article is Soldier Falls from Stirling Castle Cliffs. Last night, the body of James McLachlan, 24 years old, private in the Argyll and Sutherlandshire Highlanders belonging to Paisley, was found lying in the bushes at the foot of the Ladies' Lookout to the west of Stirling Castle. His head was much disfigured. It is supposed in attempting to break barracks he had fallen in descending the cliff, a distance of over 50 feet. The third story. This is a portrait of George Knight Watson, who died from enteric fever on the 7th of this month while serving with the 19th Company Imperial Yeomanry at Charlestown, South Africa. When he volunteered for the front, he was one of the staff of Archibald Aikman and Co., St Andrew's Square. On one occasion, he was lost for 4 days on the veldt in a thick mist, his only food for that time being the raw flesh of a goat which he had shot. He was an old pupil of George Watson's college and a son of George Watson, Viewmouth Terrace, Edinburgh. That's from the Edinburgh Evening News for the 23rd of May, 1902. So, the first article, we have a man getting eaten by coyotes. One of Random Scottish History's most enthusiastic patrons commented on this when I posted it on Twitter, saying that she has coyotes through her garden and her grounds a lot. But they're not usually anything to fear. They're not going to attack a human. They're not going to chance that encounter unless the human is weakened by illness or injury, perhaps. You know, if it was less of a threat to the coyotes in some way, or that the coyotes were particularly desperate. Maybe that they were struggling to get food from the area and it was just an act of desperation to chance an attack on this man. But either way, the fates have aligned to mean that this guy's got by the Coyotes. The soldier falling from Stirling Castle. I mean, like they say, it's supposed that he's attempted to break barracks. So maybe he's had enough. Maybe his experiences haven't been of the most positive kind. And he's just sought to escape his situation. I mean, I'm assuming there was an easier, less risky way to do that. But again, it could be a case of desperation, just looking to escape. Maybe homesickness, that can affect people in all different kinds of ways. Some people do anything to get back to a place that they know and people that they're close to. So maybe that's what's led to his accident. And George Watson, oh my word, yeah, that's a tough cookie. I can't imagine being hungry enough to want to eat raw meat. I mean, I'm not sure why he would have been unable to make a fire. Maybe that would have alerted undesirables in the area to his location. I'm not sure. But that he's died of enteric fever. I mean, that's like a gut thing, isn't it? So could it have been because he was eating raw goat for 4 days? I don't know. It doesn't link the one to the other, but I don't know. So that'll end us for today, and it was nice to have a Zara girl join us. I appreciated that. So it was nice to have you with us, Zara. And we shall see you again for the next one. Take care.